certainly a new low. It takes a lot for me to be shocked in the state of New Jersey, especially when dealing with the people that you just heard from, and it is a new low.
What about the allegations that the testimony was inaccurate, falsified?
So there's a few things on that front. First of all, one thing that both sides agree on, you can't disprove a negative. But one thing I will say, that was an open hearing. Any member of the public was welcome to testify. A person shared her own experiences, and I don't think that it's appropriate. It's not appropriate for people to drag someone's name through the mud to re-victimize someone who's already been victimized. So I want to leave it at that, as far as that individual person goes. What I will say is that we have also done our own research. There are 6 camps or 6 ex-gay ministries in Ohio that do engage in similar work as the young woman testified. They have similar sounding names to the name that the young woman used. This was also a woman who was testifying to something that happened to her 15 years ago that was extremely traumatizing. I'm happy to connect you all with experts in psychology and trauma who can talk to you more about that and what that does to a person's mind and recollection. But let's focus on what we're actually doing here, which has nothing to do with torture camps in Ohio. What we're doing here has nothing to do with some of the folks that you just heard who chose to engage in reparative therapy as young adults in their 20s or 30s. What we're talking about here is adults subjecting children to abuse against their will. What we're talking about is a very narrow restriction on licensed therapists. We're not talking about rabbis like you just heard from or religious leaders. We're talking about licensed therapists by the state of New Jersey being restricted against practicing child abuse on minors.
Troy, can you tell me what kind of child abuse that therapists do?
I didn't ask questions during yours, so you're not going to do that.
So you won't tell
He can still ask
you won't tell us what kind of child abuse that happens on therapists?
And could you name those camps, please?
Another member of the press corps have